A dream is the greatest form of revelation, while a vision is the greatest form of sight. 7 types of visions that every Christian should know about. Number 1, mental visions, known to be visions of the mind. This is the first level of the prophetic. Hence, it is also called prophetic impressions. These ones, they normally happen when you are in prayer, especially when you are speaking in tongues or praying in tongues, praying in the spirit. You'll often receive pictures in your mind. I'm talking about you thinking of somebody, and the next thing, they give you a call. It's more like you know that your phone is about to ring, and your phone rings. What is happening there is what we call mental visions. Daniel speaks about these ones. He says in Daniel 7:15, the visions of my mind troubled me. He does not say the visions of my spirit. He says the visions of my mind troubled me. Number 2, recognition, known to be glimpses in the spirit. And of course, people know this one as deja vu, where you are able to see a moment, but you can't remember, you can't recall where you saw that moment. It's more like something is happening and you are trying to figure out, where did I see this? And the next thing, it vanishes right in front of your eyes. Is because at that moment you are not imagining things, you are not in imagination, but here you have just tapped in the spirit, but you are having glimpses and you are not able to control what's happening. In order for you to control this, you need to build capacity. Luke 1:8 says, and the child John grew strong in spirit. That's when now you are able to kind of control this, when your spirit is strong. Number 3, trance, also known as twilight vision. This is where you are caught in between realms, where you are half asleep and half awake. This one, you can't initiate it. You are pulled towards it. The book of Acts chapter 10 verse 10 says, and Peter fell into a trance. This is where you are active and you are joyful, you are playful, and the next thing, you feel like sleeping. It's more like deep sleep comes on you, and the next thing, you are sleeping. And it feels like you have been sleeping for hours, only to realize you have been sleeping for a minute or minutes or even seconds. So every time you are into or you are pulled into a trance like this one, it is important for you to try and understand the meaning behind what you saw. Number 4, a closed vision. And of course, a lot of people will call this a night vision. It does not have to be at night for you to have a closed vision. But a closed vision is when you are having a dream inside a dream. And how do you know that you are having a closed vision? If somebody will wake you up, the moment you go back to sleep, that dream will continue. That's what we call a closed vision. Number 5, open vision. This is where you are seeing things that people around you are not able to see. And most of the people in the prophetic, they use open visions to see in the realms of the spirit. That's why you'll hear somebody saying, I'm seeing an angel, and everybody will be looking, but not seeing anything. Remember Balaam and the donkey? The Bible says, and the donkey saw the angel, but Balaam could not see it. Why? Because the donkey had an open vision. In the book of Acts, the Bible says, and while they were stoning Stephen, Stephen looked up, and he saw the heavens open, and he said, behold, I see the Son of God standing by the right hand of God. And everybody that looked could not see anything. So Stephen had an open vision. This is where you are seeing things that other people cannot see. And sometimes people confuse open visions with reality. Remember Peter, when he was delivered out of the prison in Acts 12, the Bible says he thought he was seeing a vision, yet it was happening. The man was used to seeing open visions, that when he now walked in reality, he still thought it was a vision. Number 6, spiritual visions. This is the second highest level of vision. The man called Ezekiel operated and functioned in spiritual vision. When you read the book of Ezekiel chapter 1 verse 2, you realize that he's amongst the captives by the river of Chebar. But when you read the entire book, you'll feel as if he is in the places that he is talking about. He was never there, but his spirit was in those places. Our favorite chapter of Ezekiel, most of us, is Ezekiel chapter 37, when the man was prophesying to the dry bones. When you read that chapter, you'll feel as if Ezekiel was there physically. No, he was by the river of Chebar, but his spirit was taken into the valley that was full of dry bones. So he's on the other side. While he's on the other side, something is happening as if it's reality. Not only Ezekiel functioned in this prolific and powerful dimension of visions, but also John, the disciple, John, the apostle, when he writes Revelation, he says in Revelation chapter 1, while he was in the island of Patmos, he was caught up in the spirit, and he heard a voice speaking to him. Now in chapter 4 of Revelation, he said the same voice that spoke to me in chapter 1 said to me, look up. And when I looked up, I saw the heavens open, and the voice said, come up hither. So when we deal with spiritual visions, you can travel from one dimension in the spirit to another. While you are in the spirit, now you begin to experience dimensions, levels in the spirit while you are in the spirit. And this is a very deep one. Number 7. And this is the highest level of visions. Mara. Mara, also known to be the vision of God. We all know that Mara means mirror. As a matter of fact, in Daniel chapter 7, he says, I saw and I spoke to a being whose image was like that of the Son of God. He was now in Mara. As we all know that he started in a dimension called Hazar. This is now where he's seeing open vision, closed vision. But later on, the man was in Mara, where he was beyond what men could understand. Even Paul operated or moved in Mara. In the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 3, he says, I know a man 14 years ago, whether in the spirit or in the flesh I cannot tell, that was caught up in the third heavens and had words that is not lawful for me to utter.